cannot believe we lost this ball game.
If you love the underdog, this is a night for you.
I think everybody loves the underdog.
I think the crowd here smells the upset.
If the favorites won all the time, it would sort of take the thrill out of watching sports.
Number 3. 792, pushing 2 weeks.
David versus Goliath, the tortoise and the hare. Wherever there is competition, there will be giant upsets that stand the test of time.
Running play coming to Garrett on a trap. Touchdown! 65 power trap. Yeah!
If a 14-point favorite comes out and rolls over the other team and wins by 14 points, you aren't going to remember that for the rest of your life.
Barr is over the top, touchdown!
If a 14-point underdog comes out and knocks off the 14-point favorite, now that's something you'll remember.
They have shocked the New England Patriots.
The great upset is when both teams seem to be playing at their peak, and it's the team that's not supposed to win that makes more plays.
This team won't quit.
An upset is more than a sports phenomenon. An upset is part of what makes us American.
Our country was founded on being the underdog. We knocked off the mighty British Empire to form the United States.
What are the things that people in this country will embrace forever? You know, Rocky, the 1980 Olympic team, the Jets win in Super Bowl III.
The New York Jets are the world champions.
Those are the events that have people running out of their houses into the streets and saying, "Can you believe what we just saw?"
The number 10 upset of all time, the Chiefs win Super Bowl IV.
No, it wasn't an upset. We really believed we were going to win.
We didn't feel at all like we were a 13-point underdog.
This year, the AFL had another underdog representing it, a team that couldn't win its own division during regular season. But Coach Hank Stram and his Kansas City Wild West variety show came to town with talent and pride.
The fourth Super Bowl was the 10th and final year of the AFL.
Going into its final game, this rival league wasn't given any respect.
The Chiefs were viewed as one-time losers. They'd been blown out of Super Bowl I.
That's a good football team, and it doesn't compare with the National Football League team.
Back to cornfields, huh?
We were the stupid stepchild of professional football, not ready for prime-time players. So that was a motivating factor to us.
Let's go, boys. Hey, let's go, man.
We took on the Minnesota Vikings.
The Vikings had been dominant in the NFL that year. The feeling going into the game was that the Vikings were an unbeatable team.
The Vikings scored the most points, permitted the fewest, and dished out such punishment along the way that they came to be known as the Purple Gang.
We talk about the Purple People Eaters of Minnesota, and they were tough.
As our number 10 upset unfolded, it was obvious that the AFL team had been greatly underestimated.
The Chiefs matched up with the Vikings in almost lethal ways.
Our defense is the area that really dominated that football game. They took away their running game, took away their passing game.
They're beating the best that the NFL has to offer out here today.
Our number 10 upset wasn't just a victory for the Chiefs, but a 23-7 blowout.
The Chiefs had a much more complex offensive array than what the Vikings had. The Chiefs were in motion shifts almost every play.
We're catching them moving a little bit. They're not ready for that quick count. Look at them running around. They didn't even know where to go on the lineup. Yeah, Kasulki was running around there like it was a Chinese fire drill.
Hank Stram put together one hell of a game plan.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
We ran 65 toss power trap.
65 toss power trap. That might pop wide open, Rats.
And there was a gaping hole there for Mike Garrett.
Touchdown, Garrett Short.
I tell you that baby is there. Yes, sir, boys.
So when we won that Super Bowl, it was a vindication for 10 years of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into the AFL.
It really is a satisfying conclusion to the 10 years of the American Football League.
Huge Huge upsets are nothing new in pro football. In the 1940 NFL championship game, the Chicago Bears embarrassed the heavily favored Washington Redskins in the most lopsided game in NFL history.
There's not very much you can say when you lose a game 73-0. I told them it was 1 over par.
In Miami's Orange Bowl, the experts predicted a Seahawk defeat at the hands of the defending AFC champion Dolphins.
In 1983, the Cinderella Seahawks didn't let the clock strike midnight in Miami.
Touchdown Seahawks!
One great battling job, I tell you what.
And who can forget in 1998 when the Cardinals won their first playoff game in 50 years?
Throws it down the middle. It's caught by Sanders. To the 10, to the 5. He scores. No one gave him a chance to win this football game.
But America's team isn't the only NFC powerhouse that suffered a shocking postseason defeat.
The number 9 upset of all time. The Vikings shocked the 49ers.
Very few postseason games I've ever seen have surprised me more than that one.
The Vikings advance to the NFC Championship game.
A game the Niners weren't supposed to lose.
Joe Montana at the height of his powers. Jerry Rice coming into his own.
How do you like this man? Yeah!
Our number 9 upset took place during the strike-shortened 1987 season and involved one of football's most powerful dynasties.
49ers were 13-2. Their offense was ranked first in the league. Their defense was ranked first in the league. I mean, they looked like they were as good as the teams that had won the previous Super Bowls, and there was every reason to think they were going to go on and win this Super Bowl.
Montana looking, throwing for Wright. Touchdown! You have any idea how demoralizing that is for a defense? Looks, throws, end zone, intercepted!
The Vikings were 8-7 that year, mediocre on both sides of the ball.
They're playing the Vikings, a team that on paper was not their equal.
I thought the 49ers were going to run the Vikings right out the front door and right into the bay.
The Niners, 11-point favorites today, and the pick of most of the experts to win it all again.
Then as soon as the 49er-Viking game begins, it's as if you'd entered a parallel universe.
Joe Montana looking slower and slower as the age and the Viking pass rush begin to catch up with him.
Joe Montana, for one of the only times ever in a big game, wasn't himself, wasn't on.
The one sideline pass that he threw that got intercepted and returned for a touchdown might be as bad a pass as Joe's ever thrown in his career.
Down the near sideline to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown Reggie Rutland!
And then Anthony Carter just goes berserk. I mean, I don't even remember who the quarterback was, but every time I looked up at the big screen to see what the replay was, Anthony Carter was making some type of circus catch.
227 yards and 10 catches. Because Carter was just awesome in that game.
A magnificent catch by Carter.
As shocking, if not more shocking, is that during that game, Montana was pulled from the game, and he was replaced by Steve Young.
But not even the help of another future Hall of Famer could prevent our number 9 upset from happening.
The Vikings have won it.
Playoff loss to the Vikings in '87 was probably the most traumatic experience I've had in sports.
Bill Walsh stripped of his presidency right after the game by irate owner Eddie DeBartolo, who proclaimed, "He's not the president anymore, I am." That's when you know your boss is mad.
It's a disappointing loss for the 49ers.
The '87 team really should have been a Super Bowl team.
Even the people from Minnesota, I don't think really thought that they were going to go into San Francisco and win that game.
Only a handful of fans are left, and most of them are Viking fans, as all of the Niners faithful headed to the parking lot a bit early.
The number 8 upset of all time. Big Blues' big win in Super Bowl 25.
If Norwood doesn't miss the field goal, then we're talking a different game here.
Here comes number 11, Scott Norwood, and he will have a chance to win the Super Bowl for the Bills.
Snap, spot, in the air, it's got the distance, it is no good! Giants win! Giants win!
Norwood going wide of the goalposts was essentially a stamp of approval for Hostetler's mustache, and we can't have that.
1990 was a season of upsets for the New York Football Giants. First, they had to win without their starting quarterback.
And Sims has been leveled on that play.
The Giant fans expected great defense as usual, and they were hoping that Hostetler wouldn't screw it up too badly.
Nobody on the bandwagon. Everybody was a pessimist. Everybody was, hey, look what you've got at quarterback. Here's your weak link. He's never going to be able to do it.
Even without scoring a touchdown in the NFC Championship, Hostetler staged a victory for the G-Men.
Kick is away. It's got the distance. It is good. Good. And the Giants are going to Tampa Bay.
They beat a great 49er team in San Francisco, but they win on a last-second field goal. The Bills absolutely obliterate the Oakland Raiders.
He runs in for the score.
A versatile back,
He will score.
a quarterback who made quick snap decisions.
What a throw by Kelly. And it is caught for the touchdown by Andre Reed.
Andre Reed, obviously a veteran guy like James Lofton.
Touchdown. James Lofton. Touchdown.
They've had a great offensive year, and they're coming off their best offensive performance. And there are a lot of people that are comparing it to the great offenses of all time. Almost everybody I know thought that the Bills were going to win, and maybe win huge.
Oh, my God, they're going to kill him.
Very early on, we took out the Iraqi Air Force. We did what could best be described as the Hail Mary play in football.
While the U.S. was winning the first Gulf War by going deep, the Giants launched a ground attack against the 7-point favorite Bills that would have made General Schwarzkopf proud.
Let's run the ball. Let's take time off the clock. Let's limit their possessions. Let's limit their snaps. Because the one thing the Giants couldn't afford to do was turn it into a high-snap kind of game. Because the more the Bills had the ball, it was going to play to the Bills' advantage.
Throws to the end zone.
O.J. touchdown.
The Giants have taken the lead.
The Giants' strategy gave them a 1-point lead late in the fourth quarter, where the Bills set the stage for one of football's most memorable moments.
Here we go.
Snap. Spot. In the air. It's got the distance. It is.
That's an upset. That's an upset. Oh, Norwood.
In the NFL, the home team wins about 60% of the time, which is why no one predicted the 2002 Bucks would win their first NFC championship in Philadelphia.
Every conceivable intangible face them. They can't play in cold weather.
And this Bucks team doesn't look the least bit cold.
It's the same team that's knocked them out of the playoffs the previous 2 years, where they hadn't even scored a touchdown.
It's intercepted at the 10 to the 20. He's gone coast to coast. Randy Barber.
Intangibles don't wear shoulder pads.
The 79 Oilers shouldered the divisional playoffs without an injured Dan Pastorini or Earl Campbell. The men who took their places weren't much healthier.
Rob Carpenter, who arrived at the game on crutches and then threw them away to lead the Oilers in rushing.
Houston still stole the Bolts' thunder. But these backups couldn't knock another group of replacements off our list.
The number 7 upset of all time, the Redskins Scabs beat the Cowboys.
They've been called Scabs, Scrubs, and Subs, but they'll be representing Washington as a pro football team.
We are the Washington Redskins.
Actually, the Washington Redskins were on strike in 1987, as was the rest of the NFL Players Union.
They're not willing to address any of the players' concerns.
Teams of replacement players were assembled with often nightmarish results.
It was the biggest bastardization in the history of pro football.
The Redskins were the only team that never broke ranks during the strike.
We had no individuals that ever crossed the picket line. We're never even close to crossing the picket line.
I think it's a team effort, and that's the most important thing.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Texas Stadium for this, the final replacement game of the NFL season.
Ironically, the last replacement game was our Washington Redskin replacements against the Dallas Cowboy squad that had probably had 8 to 10 guys cross the picket line.
You had Tony Dorsett.
Tony Dorsett, touchdown!
You had the Whites, Randy.
They got him, Randy White.
And Danny.
Danny White points where he wants him to go.
2 Hall of Famers in Dorsett and Randy White.
If you love the underdog, this is a night for you, Washington.
Anyone who underestimates a Bobby Beathard football team, which is what this new replacement skin squad is making a serious error.
To take down America's team, Beathard was willing to take talent from anywhere.
The guy I remember is Tony Robinson, the quarterback.
They got him out of jail or something.
The Redskins had their quarterback get hurt during the game, and halfway through the game, they're putting in Tony Robinson, who had just been released from prison on a cocaine charge.
Bobby Beathard, the Redskins general manager, somehow negotiated with prison officials to get him out.
And he's out there on Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys throwing passes.
Robinson back, gets the blitz, gets rid of the football, and Robinson very cool under tremendous pressure.
He played a hell of a game. I mean, he was the hero.
Vitale takes the fake, then it's Robinson who just drops it backwards to Wilson, and Dallas caught completely by surprise.
They win the game. The strike ends. He goes to prison in Tennessee. He was in jail.
Maybe the Cowboys' problem was that several names crossed the line. The chemistry just wasn't the same, and there was a lot more chemistry on that Washington sideline.
I guess there's a lot to be said for team unity. That upset remains one of the greatest in team history. They made a movie about it, obviously.
So is the upset that inspired Keanu Reeves as a scab QB and the replacements ranked too low at number 7?
Oh, in the history of the National Football League, I think I would move it up to like 5th. Maybe 4th?
It was a replacement game.
The number 6 upset of all time, the Jags beat Denver in the 96 playoffs.
Jaguars have done the improbable. The Jaguars are going to the championship game, and they have stunned John Elway.
In 1996, the divisional playoffs saw the AFC's top-seeded Denver Broncos host a Jacksonville team that was one Morton Anderson kick from watching the playoffs at home.
From 31 yards, and it's no good! It's no good! It's no good! And the Jaguars are going to the playoffs!
The Denver Broncos were 13-3, the number 1 seed in the AFC.
I called the president. President, we need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots.
And here comes this upstart team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, only around for a few years.
We're for real. Time to prove it.
There was no fear. We really never thought Jacksonville was going to be this.
Yeah, we ready.
I didn't care that we were 14-point underdogs.
The second-year team found extra motivation in the Rocky Mountain News.
We were called the Jaguars, I think, in the paper.
All of that played into the story. It's just like a fairy tale, like a storybook.
Is this great or what? We were going to Denver. We felt like we were in a good situation because we thought that they would have some rust.
And they did. The Broncos had clinched everything so far ahead of time that Mike Shanahan tried to rest guys for the postseason because their feeling was that this would be almost a tune-up game.
Early on, the Broncos looked like the better team. But Jacksonville took the lead in the second quarter and never relinquished it.
Broncos have really let them off the hook.
The Broncos got in trouble, and they couldn't fight their way through it.
Let's go now. Keep it on him now. Keep it on him. Keep it on him.
The Jaguars came in with a good game plan.
I mean, they ran the ball with consistency. Natron Means got carry after carry after carry.
Keep pounding. Keep pounding.
The Jaguars send out Mark Brunell.
Brunell added another dimension. You could not keep him in the pocket.
Brunell slips away. What a move. Still on his feet. Mark Brunell with a masterful run.
He out John Elway, and they out Bronco the Broncos.
Looking for Jimmy in the end zone. Touchdown Jaguars. Touchdown Jaguars. Touchdown Jaguars. They were called Jaguars in the paper this morning, and yet they've got the crowd stunned.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have upset Denver.
It wasn't just a loss. I mean, that was a traumatic loss.
It was gut-wrenching because we let it slip through our fingers.
So a lot of hopes in this season going down the drain here for the Broncos.
Even though I'd lost 3 Super Bowls before that, that Jacksonville game was the biggest loss of my life.
In case you've been asleep, here's a recap of our top 10 biggest upsets so far.
Number 10, Hank Strand talks his way to victory.
Pump it in there, baby. 65 horsepower trap.
I knew Hank was always wired, but I didn't know he had a microphone.
Number 9, Joe Montana, welcome to the Twilight Zone.
It's as if you'd entered a parallel universe.
Number 8, the K-Gun shoots wide of the mark. Number 7.
We are the Washington Redskins.
The Skins scab over the Cowboys.
And down goes Danny White.
Number 6. The 96 Jags find their happily ever after.
It's just like a fairy tale.
And now, the number 5 upset of all time. John Elway wins Super Bowl 32.
In one of the most stunning Super Bowls in NFL history, our number 5 upset features the wild card Broncos taking down Brett Favre and the Packers.
John Elway had been to the Super Bowl before and never won and had some nightmarish games.
I'm proud of the fact that we got 3 Super Bowls. I don't care if we won or lost.
You consider your career complete if you didn't win a Super Bowl? Yeah. It was a standard answer because it's really the only answer I had. But the bottom line is, no, I would not have been satisfied if we were never able to say that I was a world champion and wore a Super Bowl ring.
You had the defending champion Packers coming back.
Everyone had a say in it. Everyone got it done.
You had Brett Favre coming back off another MVP season.
An absolutely gorgeous throw by Brett Favre.
I think at the start of the season, we felt like we were going to go back to the Super Bowl. We were really a good team. We were more confident than we were the year before.
He got it. Atta, baby.
Your division champion. Way to go, man.
Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Broncos.
Denver was a 12-point underdog, and Super Bowl 32 started off like Groundhog Day for Elway.
Back there's Antonio Freeman. Touchdown, Packers.
And the Packers score right away.
A 76-yard touchdown drive on the very first series of the game.
And the game started much like a lot of the Broncos Super Bowls. Green Bay went right down the field. I can remember John and I looking at each other like, oh no.
You're going to win this one. You're going to win this one.
I think Davis may be shaken up. And this would be costly for the Broncos.
Migraines are more of a condition, and it deals with not only headaches, but for me, visually, I can't see.
What's that? Can't see. Okay, just do this.
And his response was something like, well, it doesn't matter if you can see or not.
You don't worry about seeing on this place because we're going to fake it to you the 15 lead.
We sort of need you in this game so that they think we're going to run the football.
But if you're not in there, they won't believe we're going to run, okay?
Play fake. Elway rolls right. He can run it in. John, it will trot into the end zone. Touchdown.
After recovering from his migraine, Davis was a real headache for the Packers and was named Super Bowl MVP. But it was John Elway's heads-up play that defined our number 5 upset.
He dives inside the 5-yard line. My goodness. You want to tell me the 37-year-old man doesn't want to win this game? That's sacrifice.
That play right there gave our football team a mindset that, hey, we're fixing to get this done no matter what.
I think the crowd here smells the upset.
That's a guy that can create something when it's not there. I mean, for him to lay it on the line like that, that just shows you how important that game was to him. So when he's doing that, it's like, oh, you know, I can't give anything less than that.
Davis into the end zone, rocking, standing up. This team is not better than us. They're not even good.
I think we really underestimated Denver that year.
The Broncos are world champions.
We were huge favorites, and they outplayed us. Not to take anything from them, they outplayed us.
They have shocked everybody.
I still get shivers when I think about it. I still get shivers because I can remember exactly how it felt.
This one's for John.
The number 4 upset of all time. The Browns' 1950 opening day game.
1950, Browns versus Eagles.
Ironic as it may seem, Pro Football's World Series takes place the first week of the 1950 season as the Cleveland Browns, champions of the All-American Conference, take on the defending kingpins of the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles.
No one gave the Browns a chance to win.
Cleveland joined the NFL after the All-American Football Conference dissolved in 1949. But at the time, the Browns were considered more of a rogue outfit than a legitimate organization.
The owners, the executives of the NFL looked down on the All-American Conference. Thought the players weren't as good, thought the coaches weren't as good. They thought it was a minor league product. They laughed at Paul Brown. They called him a high school coach.
The NFL viewed the former AAFC team as nothing more than a carnival act, with its run-and-gun offense and unusual off-the-field activities.
The players, during their free time, engage in some sports activity. Keeps them in shape, they say.
Bert Bell, who personally made up the league schedule, scheduled the first game was going to be the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles were two-time defending champions and viewed as the real class act in pro football.
We're going to open the season against the Cleveland Browns in Philadelphia, and that was no accident. I mean, Bert Bell wanted to put these guys in their place right away.
Here's the kind of action that will thrill you fans.
Brown was telling the players what they already knew. This league has no respect for you. This game is a setup. They're expecting you to go in there and get crushed.
We were so ready. We were foaming at the mouth almost. We were ready to play that game.
They had dominated the All-American Football Conference. They had won all 4 league championships.
The autumn cavalcade of sport is both colorful and exciting.
What was supposed to be a battle of league champions turned into a one-sided slaughter and our number 4 upset.
The Browns just dominated. By halftime, that game was pretty much over.
They were too smart for them. They were too quick for them.
They weren't prepared to deal with the Browns' passing attack. They had no idea how good players like Otto Graham and Marion Motley, how good these guys were.
After the game, Bert Bell came in and he said it was the best football team, the most intense football team he had ever seen.
And they drew 71,000 people. It was the biggest regular season attendance ever for the Philadelphia Eagles and remains so to this day.
The Browns went on to win the 1950 NFL Championship, suggesting that our number 4 upset was no fluke.
And the Browns have entered another championship, this one a cherished conquest in the National Football League.
And the Browns had proved they were talented enough and well coached enough that they would not just be able to compete, but be able to thrive in the NFL.
Some of the biggest upsets have occurred during football's biggest games. With the help of sneakers, the Giants overcame the icy conditions and the undefeated Bears to win the 1934 NFL Championship.
Add 6 more points to the scoreboard.
The 1964 NFL Championship game was a shocker as the underdog Browns shut out the Colts 27-0.
Somewhere, the Colts are leaving the field too, but no camera records their sorrow.
It's hard to believe, but the undefeated Dolphins were underdogs to the Redskins in Super Bowl VII.
Now listen, this is a world championship.
Miami completed the NFL's only perfect season and showed that the Super Bowl is the perfect place for a super upset.
The number 3 upset of all time. The Patriots win Super Bowl 36.
I don't think anybody thought the Patriots would beat the Rams.
They didn't have a chance.
For Super Bowl 36, the kick is on the way, and it is good. The Rams were 14-point favorites to win this football game.
In 2001, the Patriots were hardly considered Super Bowl contenders after losing their first 2 games and their starting quarterback.
Tom Brady has been put into quarterback and Bledsoe taken out.
And when you do get your opportunity, you better be ready to take advantage, especially how competitive this league is.
Brady, a 6th-round draft pick, showed some promise, but wasn't considered a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
To the near side, left for Brady on 2nd and 10. He fumbles the snap.
We had played him already. We played him up in New England. It was cold, wet, and we beat him.
Steps up, fires for the end zone. Clark, touchdown Rams.
And so I didn't see any possible way the Patriots were going to win. I didn't see any possible way the Patriots would even be in the Super Bowl.
While the Patriots' Super Bowl appearance was a surprise, the Rams' greatest show on turf was used to the spotlight.
Playing against a Rams team that had been to a Super Bowl with this group of players, with quarterback Kurt Warner, and had won.
St. Louis, the gateway to the West, is now the gateway to the best.
Let's keep being happy.
Kurt Warner was the MVP that year.
And the Rams are just going right up and down the football field.
Marshall Faulk was the outstanding offensive player of the year. How do you not make that team the favorite?
Forget the big red S. Superman wears a 2 and 8 on his chest. On low right sideline, Marshall's there. Touchdown Rams.
That's why he's MVP who caught it, and that's why he's MVP who threw it.
We were like flashy. We got it done. We scored a lot of points.
However, it was the Patriots' offense that shined in the first half of Super Bowl 36, making even U2 frontman Bono take notice.
Brady drops back to throw.
Touchdown, David Pep.
Tom Brady. Overrated.
We came out cold, came out flat.
Well, the Rams offense has never really gotten in rhythm.
They jumped on us early.
And Warner goes back to throw, and here's the blitz by Mike Vrabel. The pass is intercepted. 20, 15, touchdown! Back to throw is Warner on 1st and 10. Fires over the middle. It is caught. And Ricky Perlman dropped, and the Patriots recover it.
I think for the game, we had well over 400 yards of offense. But, the turnovers created a lopsided score. So it wasn't as if they'd stopped us. We kind of stopped ourselves.
Turnovers, the name of the game.
Let's not get too excited here. The Rams got a powerful offense. They could come back at any time.
Quarterback sneaks, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams.
Drive. Now we go get another one.
Get into the fourth quarter, the Rams tie the game.
Warner stands in, fires. Ricky Prohl wide open. Inside the 10. Breaks the 10. Yes, touchdown, Ricky Prohl.
When the Patriots got the ball back, they had, I think, 1 minute and 17 seconds left.
They screwed up. They gave us too much time.
Together, Tom Brady and Adam Vinatieri forged the beginning of a new dynasty and gave us our number 3 upset of all time.
And Adam Vinatieri will try to win it with a 47-yard field goal attempt.
The night before that game, I must have tossed and turned all night. I must have kicked that 1,000 times in my sleep.
Snap, ball down, kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good!
And there you go, a kicker wins the game for him.
What a finish!
And it was the most exciting broadcast moment of my life.
And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions!
No upset is more disheartening than one that blemishes a near-perfect season.
2004, Patriots at the orange-jerseyed Dolphins.
Morris over the top, touchdown!
It's the only time in NFL history in which a team that is 10 or more games over 500 lost to a team that was 10 or more games below 500.
They have shocked the New England Patriots.
That was a seminal upset.
The Fish played spoiler before. The 85 Bears had an undefeated season dangling within reach until the Dolphins made the catch of the day.
Ball is deflected in the air.
In 1942, it was the Redskins who ruined the Bears' perfect season and captured the NFL championship.
The Redskins 2 years prior lost 73-0 to the Bears. The Redskins just had revenge on their minds.
Washington caught the Bears napping, but the win that made our list comes from the city that never sleeps.
The number 2 upset of all time, a giant upset in Super Bowl 42.
But I'm telling you, we just saw one of the greatest upsets in the history of football.
And the Giants, with the most improbable win, have won Super Bowl 42.
It was a great upset because the Patriots were 18-0. They were going for 19-0, the perfect season.
Perfection personified by the Patriots.
Throughout the season, New England dominated every opponent in its path to perfection.
Nobody has come close to stopping them.
They didn't just win. They made it look ridiculously easy.
And they just make it look easy.
More touchdowns than any offense in history. More points than any offense in history.
New England's pretty darn good, man. I'll tell you what. Best I've ever seen.
While the Patriots were the most dominant team in football, the Giants were one of the most disappointing. They went through stretches and they went through periods of that season where they looked absolutely awful.
I thought the Patriots would win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I looked at it as the Giants will get run out of the stadium. No doubt about it.
One of the greatest upsets to me was how that Giant defensive line just totally dominated one of the best offensive lines in football.
Sacked by Michael Strahan.
It's not like a hot knife through butter like we saw in the middle of the season where zip, 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 Brady's not. Giants are getting pressure. They're tackling well. They're making plays. And I said, you know what? Game on here.
Keep me relentless.
They still had the champion's heart, New England, to take it down the field and seemingly win the game.
Touchdown! Randy Moss!
Yeah! Except that a young quarterback came of age in the last 2.5 minutes.
And Eli Manning and the Giants end perfection.
Down by 4, Manning looked nearly perfect as he drove the Giants toward our number 2 upset.
And I was shocked. You thought the Patriots, with their experienced defense, would come up with a big play.
3rd and 5 for the Giants. 1:16 to go.
When Manning first went back to pass, he's in trouble.
Gonna be sacked. No, he got out of it.
Manning finally gets free and heaves it.
Fires downfield. And what a catch by Tyree.
We still see David Tyree going up, taking the ball away from Rodney Harrison.
I think it's one of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history.
17-14, fellas. One touchdown, we are world champions.
Manning got his team the winning score and was named the game's most valuable player.
The Giants won with Eli Manning. I mean, are you kidding me? Here's a quarterback with more interceptions
And it's intercepted.
than any other quarterback in the playoffs that year.
Threw it right to the safety.
Eli, to his critics, how you like me now?
If that's not considered an upset,
It's like ugly beating hot. It's like Sanjaya winning American Idol. If you were a Patriots hater, it was the greatest way to see them lose.
The Patriots will not be perfect.
You could not nullify their season anymore.
The Patriots, seeing their undefeated season go up in smoke.
18-1.
I think this last Super Bowl is the biggest upset.
I love that upset. I was there cheering the Giants on.
17-0 says it all. The world championship.
18-1 is number 2 for now, but there is one key fact that will ensure its spot near the top for years to come.
everybody today has witnessed that game.
Read all about it, baby. Big Blue.
And that's a big part of defining what the biggest upset is. You can listen to all the stories, have to be a witness. And I still don't think the Giants were that good.
World champions, baby. Write that down.
And now, the number 1 upset of all time. Broadway Joe guarantees Super Bowl III.
Super Bowl III is the biggest upset. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Super Bowl III is going to remain pro football's greatest upset because of the circumstances and the time.
The circumstances were these. The NFL's Colts were 19-point favorites over Joe Namath's Jets, members of the upstart American Football League.
The conventional wisdom held that the American Football League was probably still a decade away from being competitive with the best teams in the NFL.
The Colts weren't just the champions of the National Football League. They were being talked about as maybe one of the great teams of all time.
The Baltimore Colts are heavier favorites to win this Super Bowl game than Green Bay was in 1967 and 1968.
The Packers had won the first 2 Super Bowls, obviously representing the NFL.
Green Bay strikes quickly here.
So they've won the first 2 in pretty convincing fashion. I don't think people thought the Jets were as good as the Chiefs or the Raiders that lost Super Bowls 1 and 2.
I mean, there are a lot of AFL people that went into Super Bowl III sort of with one hand over their face thinking, oh, God, this is going to be worse than the last 2 games.
Far, far away in a kingdom on the coast, there was a little prince who made a mighty boast. I'll throw that bean, he said, and straight I'll make it go. There's no doubt about it, said the boy named Broadway Joe.
There was a lot of fuss made about my guaranteeing the victory.
Thursday night before the game, Joe Namath not only predicts victory, he guarantees it.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee it.
And this is supposed to now given Baltimore even more of an incentive, and they say that it has added maybe a 2-touchdown edge to the Colts. We'll see how it all comes out.
They should have been very upset that Joe guaranteed the game. If they were as good as what they said they were, they should have came out and beat the shit out of us.
No penalties. Let's get a touchdown up there.
And then on Sunday, the biggest star in the game, the biggest city in the game, goes out and on the sport's biggest stage, orchestrates the biggest upset in pro football history.
I mean, that makes it a transcendent kind of story.
We may be sitting in one of sports' greatest upsets in history.
He managed the game masterfully.
We get another score, though. We need another score.
Namath, red hot. Everybody thought he'd get killed in this game. He has killed Baltimore so far. That Snell's been the outstanding runner so far. He's in there. Snell scores.
You know, they dominated that game. They dominated the game.
Intercepted.
I mean, everything that could go wrong went wrong that day.
They had Jimmy Orr all alone, and they didn't see him.
We just got outplayed.
The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions. They have upset the Baltimore Colts and beat them handily
was shocking that the Colts lost the game.
Got to have confidence in your team. Got to have confidence in yourself. And if you don't have that confidence, you can't play football.
The significance of that game, it was really more than just the Jets winning against the Colts. We won for the league.
I believe the AFL won over many football fans because that underdog Jet team came through.
World Championship football team.
Our number one upset's greatest legacy was what it did for the game and the AFL-NFL merger.
The feeling was the real championship game is the NFL title game. This Super Bowl thing is just an anticlimax. The Friday before Super Bowl III, Pete Rozelle allowed that the league was looking at rejiggering the playoff structure so 2 NFL teams might play in a Super Bowl one day.
Is this a win for outspoken people?
I don't know about that. I know it's a hell of a loss for those folks that picked it the other way.
Historically, I think it was the greatest upset.
If the Jets had been blown out in that game, the distinction between the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference would be much less pronounced than it is today.
It was really the game that made pro football, I believe, today.
Unfortunately, we've reached the end of our list. And if you're upset by our list of upsets, you're not alone.
Jacksonville Jaguars over the Denver Broncos in the 96 playoffs. That should be top 3.
I don't rate that as a major upset.
I would probably put the Giants beating the Bills in Super Bowl 25 ahead of the Rams-Patriots.
A Super Bowl win got to be rated at least higher than a replacement game.
We are the Washington Redskins.
This one's for John.
Elway quarterbacking a team, how much of an upset is it?
Man, I thought this was just a picture or something.